Today on Toledo Cars, we go through our recovery bag that goes with our new Smitty built winch. This is the gear you need to get out of a lot of situations. So, hey guys, just wanted to show you what is in my off-road recovery bag. This is the bag itself. It's made by a company called RT Off-Road. I think it was about $14 from Quadratech, and it was just the cheapest bag I could find. I don't want to spend a lot of money on a bag like this because I know that I'm going to throw it around in the mud, in the sand, in the dirt. It's going to get wet. It's going to stay in the Jeep. It's going to get sun faded. So I'm not really interested in dumping a lot of money in the bag. But let's go on to what is inside. So first item in my recovery kit is a tree saver. So what this allows me to do is wrap the winch basically around, you wrap this tree saver around a tree or a pole or whatever else you want to attach to, and then you're putting that attachment force on this strap as opposed to using like say the winch cable wrapped around and hooked back to itself. You don't want to do that. You'll damage your winch cable. You'll probably damage the tree or whatever you're hooking it to also. So you need this kind of strap as well. I've seen these also used to do things like go around the rear bumper on a Jeep. That can be done. You can slide these in and then go around, and then you have a fairly stable place to hook up to. It does help spread the load because this is, wider than what a winch cable would be. And this is just a useful thing to get you in and out of places when you're stuck and you need to use the winch. The next item in my recovery kit are these soft shackles. They came in a 2-pack from Amazon, fairly inexpensive. Once again, these are wear items. They're going to break and break down. They're going to get sun faded and damaged as they're being used, but they're rated for 55,000 pounds. Really simple to operate. Basically, you just expand this loop a little bit, and then this knot goes through this loop, and that goes around whatever you're winching to or whatever you're hooking to. And the good part with these is they don't weigh very much, so you don't end up with a big heavy thing on the end of your winch line that could snap back and hurt somebody if it gets moving really fast. It could do some damage. So these are for attaching to things like the tree saver, other things like D-rings and other hooks. These are really useful to hooking up, to anything from a snatch block to a tree saver, anything that you may need to hook your winch cable to, where the winch cable hook isn't quite big enough to fit around everything. These come in really handy. 55,000 pound brake strength, so they should be good for just about whatever I'm going to do. I have a 10,000 pound winch, so that's the force that we're going to exert with that winch. I could double it to 20,000 pounds with a snatch block, so these need to be able to hold that snatch block as well. Next item up in my recovery kit is a set of gloves. Again, I consider these a consumable, so I don't want to spend a lot of money. These were $4 from Menards. Any simple set of gloves is going to do. Basically what you're looking to do is protect your hand from any sort of debris or things that might be in that winch cable. You don't want to get those caught up in your hands. You just want something to protect your hands. So these should work pretty well. They're maybe a little thin, but I'm using a synthetic line, so I think gloves are just an extra protection there. You could probably get away without gloves, unless something's sticking out of that line. You're really not going to have an issue. So I just wanted some cheap gloves to throw in there. I can use them when I need to do a recovery, and then if they get left on a trail or if they get misplaced or they fly out of the back of the Jeep, I'm only out $4. The next item in my recovery kit is a set of D-rings. These again are from Quadratech. They fairly inexpensive, run-of-the-mill D-ring. They're rated for 4 3/4 tons, which is about 9,500 pounds. It's a little under what my winch is rated for, but that's a working load rating, not a brake strength rating. So I should be okay if we get an extra 500 pounds on these D-rings. And I'm looking to use these in places where the soft shackle isn't appropriate, because the Dyneema in a soft shackle is really resistant to, the tugging and the pulling, but it's not resistant to things like chafe, or if you end up with a little bit of nick in that Dyneema, it loses its strength really fast. So anywhere where I might be connecting to a vehicle or somewhere where it might have a rough metal edge, I'm going to want to use these D-rings in place of the soft shackle, and I'm only going to use these for a straight pull with the winch. I don't think I'd be comfortable hooking these to a soft shackle and doing a double pull with these. I would need to do something else to make that happen. But these should work for a majority of situations. If I'm hooking onto a tow point on somebody's bumper where they have a D-ring attachment, and maybe that edge is a little sharper than I want to use, or it's small, I'm going to use these. Last thing in my handy dandy recovery bag is the Snatch Block. So anybody that's not familiar with a Snatch Block, these are really, really useful. They allow you to slide the Snatch Block open. You see it opens like that. Then you can bring your winch line around and through this pulley right here. It's got a simple pulley, and then you close it like that. Then you would run your attachment point through there, probably that soft shackle. I could use a bigger D-ring if I had one, but I'll probably be using that soft shackle. And probably I envision using this connected to a soft shackle and then to my tree saver and around a tree. But what this allows you to do is double your pulling capacity or change the direction of your winch. So if you need to, let's say, pull somebody in a different direction, you can do that with this. Let's say you can't position your Jeep in a place where you can, pull another Jeep in the direction you need it to. You could take this to a tree, run your winch line through there, change that direction. Alternatively, and I think the better use for these, is doubling your pulling power and having your pulling speed. So if you're really, really stuck, you can put this, hook it up to a tree, basically, fix it in one position, and then what you would do is you would run your winch cable through, and you would bring that winch attachment point, the winch hook, back to your own Jeep. So you'd make a big loop, and that would give you double the pulling power. So you'd be pulling with 20,000 pounds of force forward, 10,000 on this side, 10,000 on the other side, and you would have your pulling speed. So that would make you winch even more slower, more controlled. If you were in a really tight spot or a really precarious position, that would be what you'd want to go with. But these, again, are really useful. You can do a lot of things with these. They just give you a lot more options when you're out on the trail. Thanks for watching, everybody. Tune in next time. We are going to have a review of the Smittybilt X2O winch coming up for you very soon.